What's going on, everybody? I am the Kilted Cage, and welcome back to my channel. And to everyone, all my newest subscribers, hey, I hope you stick around. Hope you like what I have to say. You may not like what I have to say today, but who knows? I want to talk about this recent uptick of criticism versus racism. All the mainstream media coming out. If you criticize the Little Mermaid live action, well, obviously you're a bigot. If you criticize Rings of Power, obviously you're a bigot. The problem is none of that actually makes any sense, and I'll show you why. Not too long ago, about 2 months ago, we had a trailer released for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. This trailer released 2 months ago, 39 million views. It has 1.4 million upvotes and 143,000 downvotes. Now, you would think if the media, if the mainstream was correct and told the truth, that these numbers would be a little different. Because on the Little Mermaid official teaser trailer that was released 3 weeks ago has less views, has been out less time, 1.7 million upvotes and 3 million downvotes. Let's compare that again. Roughly the same number of upvotes, a 200,000 difference, but it's those downvotes. Now, why do you suppose that is? If you listen to the mainstream media, it's bigotry, it's racism. They don't want to see a black mermaid. I disagree. I think people are tired of the race swaps and gender swaps in the media. They just don't want to see a black Ariel. You can have black mermaids all over it. Ariel was white, redhead, and there's some ideas. Regardless, I'm not getting into any sort of scientific discussion because if you live under the sea and if you under the sea, so deep under the sea, your skin's going to have a lighter tone. We're talking about mermaids. We're talking about make believe characters that they don't exist. They're not real. However, The Little Mermaid, written by Disney, originally from 1989, as we can see over here, family 1989, 1 hour and 22 minutes. That's Ariel. That's the way the story was. So to race swap the character, people see that as nothing more than virtue signaling in an attempt to shield the movie from any sort of criticism. The same thing happened with Rings of Power and House of the Dragon. The problem is with Rings of Power, people sat down and watched the show, and the majority of those criticisms now are about Galadriel because she's a cunt. I mean, see you next Tuesday. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. But then if you look at House of the Dragon, the criticisms there was because of the particular house, the character for the house that was race swapped. Now, the criticism has been overwhelmingly positive for House of the Dragon, whereas Rings of Power has been vastly negative. Not because of the black characters either. It's because of the writing. It's because of Galadriel's behavior. So what's the argument there? Nobody's really even talking about the black characters, Disa, the dwarf, Don Lemonless, or Lenny Henry's character. Lenny Henry's character is actually the one, my understanding, where's he at? That's Lemonless. Lenny Henry's character is probably the more accurate because I believe Tolkien described the Harfoots as more browner skinned. So, okay, that's fine. Although the way they're portraying the Harfoots in Rings of Power, they're evil. They want to leave their own people behind, their own people in their own group. So that's kind of messed up. People are criticizing the black elves and the black dwarves because the way Tolkien wrote the story, that's not how they were described. Tolkien was very thorough in his description of the elves and the dwarves. Nobody says you can't have black characters in Rings of Power. Nobody cares about black characters. Well, they don't care if you have black characters in Rings of Power or in The Little Mermaid or any sort of entertainment. It's a matter of taking established characters based on long-standing stories and deep, deep lore and switching them to serve your own agenda. I don't know what the acting prowess of either one of these people are, so I can't judge their abilities, but I'm sure they're just fine. But it is seen as they are simply being used because they're black. And me personally, if I was only hired for a role because I'm white, I wouldn't be too happy about that. I would want to be hired because of my ability. You know, how is that going to feel years down the line when you actually look in the mirror and realize that the only reason that you were picked for a role is because of the color of your skin and not your abilities as a performer. So, I don't know. As far as the Little Mermaid goes, I'm hitting the wrong buttons. We've had black mermaids before, although I will, I'll argue about her look. This is from Little Mermaid spin-off cartoon that played on Disney or Saturday morning cartoons or whatever it was. We've had mermaids of color before. It's not a big deal. Nobody cares. People have a problem with the narrative that's being pushed. You want to criticize something, well, if there's a black lead character in it, or if it's a woman that's a lead character, you're a bigot, you're a misogynist, you're racist. That's not how it works. People are getting tired of it. Live action Little Mermaid is seen as nothing more than a creatively bankrupt cash grab to try and get butts in the seats. Personally, I always preferred the animated stuff. I loved Encanto. I enjoyed, I think it was Luna, The Last Dragon. My kids like that one. Turning Red, I think that's a great movie for tween young girls. Watch that. Watch it with your kids, people. It's it's well, tiny tots are not going to understand the innuendos in it, the underlying tones in it. Preteen girls, I think it's perfect for them. It's a movie about periods. It is, period. There's no discussion about that. This movie, Turning Red, is a movie about getting your period. Watch it with your kids. I think it, might ease the pretty. Anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent. If you haven't noticed, it's what I do. After recording 10 minutes of video, I had to start over. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. I don't think I'm going to be seeing The Little Mermaid. I have issues with Wakanda Forever simply because they're changing Namor because, I don't know, they don't want Namor to be from Atlantis, but they don't have a problem with the citizens of Atlantis looking like they're from Avatar. We've already had Black Mermaids. Stop pushing this bullshit narrative. People, stop falling. Stop allowing yourselves to be brainwashed to think the world is full of bigots and pigs and misogynists. Criticism does not equal racism. And that's all. I have paused way too many times. Anyway, if you made it this far, I'm impressed. Thank you very much. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you liked it, leave a like. If you dislike it, leave a dislike. And I hope to see you on the next one. Y'all have a good one.